Hi everyone, good morning. Thanks for joining today. Hope you all enjoyed the last week session with the network infrastructure. So today we are going to expand that the same session because last week we are not able to cover a couple of scenarios. But before moving into the second topic, part 2, I would like to ask people like whether you need some recap or we can directly jump onto the topics. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Karthik. Not full recap, just a rush
High
through so
level.
that we follow the session would be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you all know, this is part of the Azure 303 exam preparation course. So here you can see the list of topics, the main topics list out here. We are focused last week the architecting the network. Then, so on this particular topic, there are various Azure resources are there, and we explored many. So I'm going to go through one by one. Here you can see connecting on-premises network to Azure with the VPN gateway. So the VPN gateway is the Azure services which can be used for enabling point-to-point point-to-site or site-to-site VPN. And also you can see connecting your on-premises network to the Microsoft Global Network by using ExpressRoute. So we also know ExpressRoute is the dedicated communication, like a fiber optic communication between your on-premises to Azure Data Center using the third party like a BT or whoever in the regional network provider. Through them, we'll get this optical fiber communication to Azure Data Center. So ExpressRoute is another service, is important to understand. Most of the time, every company who already implemented Azure, they would have implemented ExpressRoute. So you will not have much option to implement, but you need to understand how the communication works. The other areas we talk about like resources. If you have a network security group for filtering your inbound and outbound on the subnet level, then you can also use service endpoint if you have any past services which you want to communicate to. If you want to, for example, I have Azure Cosmo DB, and then the Cosmo DB, I don't want to enable access from all other network, only from the dedicated network I want to accept the request. Then you can use service endpoint to configure that. Then you have a virtual network peering. So if you have a more than one virtual network and you wanted to communicate each other, then you can configure the virtual network peering. That will allow you to communicate between these two VMs, these two virtual networks. Then we also explored the Azure Traffic Manager. So Traffic Manager is the component will be used for distributing your workloads from geographic wise. Like I have a main application sitting in UK South and the secondary region sitting in West Europe. In case my UK South is down, then I can route my application access to my West Europe. In that case, I can use a traffic manager. Traffic manager also comes with the various features like geography specific or nearest region we can route it to user. So there are many benefits we explored last week. Also, Azure Load Balancer is typically used for load balancing two resources. If you have a two VM and you want to send the request to both on the same time, like active, then you can use Azure Load Balancer, which will send the loads to whatever the VMs is available. Then we also explored application gateway. Application gateway also can act as a load balancer, but the main purpose of the application gateway is dual functionality. It gives us the web application firewall functionality also. So that's also heavily used in the industry. And we also saw that the Azure route tables, like if you have infrastructure and within that infrastructure you have a virtual network and 3 subnets, and within that subnets, if any request is going outside of the VM or a subnet, you can use route table to route it to specific gateway, or if you don't want directly goes to internet and you wanted to route it via your dedicated firewall component, then you can use a route table to route all the requests. So route table is one of the key component used in the industry currently. Then you also know that designing IP address schema that we have verified in multiple scenarios, like creating a virtual network, CADR range, and then how that range will be used for creating multiple subnet. And then you have a hybrid network. So hybrid network, pretty much we explored a couple of options, right? One is express route is the primary option, and in case express route already comes with the high availability, but in case you wanted another endpoint for disaster recovery purpose, you can also have a VPN communication as an alternative that will help your hybrid communication from on-premises to cloud. And there is another component like hub and spoke. Hub and spoke concept is really famous in this industry currently, because we have the moment we start using cloud, we will be creating virtual network for each application or each department. And if you wanted to communicate each other, it is not the best practices to create a VPN for one to many or many to many. It's better to keep everything into a hub, like you can create a centralized hub. So in this model, you can see there is a centralized hub virtual network. It is acting as a firewall, VPN gateway. This is like your DMZ in the cloud. This can communicate with all other spoke virtual network. You can have a n number of virtual network which can talk to your hub network. So this way, if this VM need to talk to this VM, then the request using the route table will send all the requests to the firewall here. Then the firewall will manage this particular request is trying to talk to VM2, then it will route it to this VM. So the required firewall rules can be enabled here. So this is one of the key areas we need to understand. The last one on this topic is Azure network monitoring. So network monitoring is more critical, right? Like when you are working on a engagement, and as an engineer or as architect, you have the Azure virtual network, more than one network or a hub or anything. Like if we go back to this scenario, so the person from this VM trying to access to this VM, and they are saying like it is not working, then how do you verify? So you need some sort of like a monitoring tool. Either it will be like a live connection monitoring or troubleshooting purpose. So you need a live monitoring tools as well as troubleshooting options. So that's where the network watcher comes into the place. Network watcher is another Azure component. It provides the monitoring and diagnostic tools. So when it comes to monitoring or diagnostic, this can help you to maintain as a centralized hub for identifying network glitches, CPU spikes, connectivity problems, and memory leaks, and other normal communication between the resources problems also we can resolve using these components. So network watcher, as I said, it has a two major features. One is a monitoring tools, right? The first will go through the monitoring tools. When it comes to monitoring tools, it provides a various option. One is, if I have a complex virtual network, I have like one particular resource group has one virtual network, but which has a 50 subnet or like a 20 subnet and 50 VMs and 20 energy groups. So how do we know that what is our configuration? So that topology means like it gives you the visualized chart that through that you can see, okay, this particular virtual network contains this many subnet, this many which energy groups, all the resources related information you can see through topology, which will quickly we can see the demo. Then you have the connection monitor. So this will help you on live connection monitoring between the resources. Then you can also use a network performance monitor, which will help you to alert any latency or packets dropped over the time. Many times we see like we hear like in organization network dropped. That's why my application is not working. So those kind of network drop, how do we as soon as we see that, we notify through, because we are notifying, we can easily communicate to the business that if somebody raised a ticket, yeah, we had the glitch and we resolved it. And also when you're planning for the hybrid communication for network monitoring, you can also use the same component for monitoring the network communication between branches to data centers and between the virtual networks from your connection between on-premises and the cloud. This is the hybrid model, right? So then express route circuit, in any problem with the express route circuit also you can monitor. This is more of like, this is one of the must to have functionality when you are in the cloud, because without monitoring and troubleshooting options we cannot support. It's not like always what we configure going to be like a 100% working scenario, right? When we are keep on deploying something, we make some uh, minor issues. So if you want to fix those things, the better monitoring tool is important. So that's why the network watcher is a key component in the Azure services. So the next we will talk about the diagnostic tools. Diagnostic tools is, once the problem occurred, how do we troubleshoot? My business says like, I'm trying to talk to this service from this service, but I'm not able to communicate. Like two VMs are they are trying to connect. Then we have multiple options to troubleshoot. One is the IP flow verify. This will help if any request is denied by the virtual machine, then we can identify, like we can identify which particular energy group is blocking from this particular scenario. Then you have a next hub. Next hub is like, it is not always one service to another service, right? It will be like a chained communication. So from my virtual network, and I have a VM subnet, from here always my next the route table will send my request to hub network. From the hub network, then it goes to the another virtual network for communication. So if you have a virtual network to hub network, then you need to use a next hub for identifying from my VM where is my next hub. Then from we can connect the dots to troubleshoot. So the next hub will help to identify what is the next hub for your particular VM or a particular service. Then effective security rules. This will help you to find out on a particular virtual network what are the energy groups are applied and what are effective rules. So when you select this particular setting, it will tell you what are the energy groups and rules or inbound and outbound rules are configured on the particular energy and what is denied. If somebody says like, hey, I'm not able to talk to this particular service from here, and when you are trying to find out that your IP flow verify, it tells you that this particular energy is blocking. Then within the energy, which particular rule is blocking? Then you can go to the effective rule and find out which particular rule is blocking. So combination of these two will help you to resolve it. Then the packet capture. So this will be used for capturing the when the packet is sent it to particular network, and how how that is particular packet is sending and to particular VM. In case any troubles you are facing, this will help you to find out that packet level transaction. Then you have a connection troubleshoot. Connection troubleshoot, it checks the TCP communication between your source and destination VMs. The final option is the VPN troubleshoot. So in case you have a VPN, how do you troubleshoot? So this option helps you to diagnose your problems with the VPNs. So these are the options available along with your monitoring. So always monitoring is the live dashboard. Through that you can see what is happening. Once the problem happen, then you can go to the diagnostic tools to resolve it. So now I'm going to just show my screen and some walk you through the settings here. So if I go to my portal.azure, and then you can simply search for a network watcher.
Karthik,
Yeah, sure.
these watches and monitoring diagnostic tools,
Yeah.
they come as a standard, or these are to be subscribed. I mean, in the sense, if you take a service as your service,
Yeah.
these are default. It comes in, or these has to be separately procured.
No, it is one of the service. It's a similar to, for example, you wanted to move your application to cloud, right? So you have
Mm.
on-premises application, which is 3-tier architecture, okay? And you
Mm.
want to move to the cloud. In
Mm.
on-premises, you already have a on-premises network monitoring tools,
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
like a SolarWinds or there are many products, right?
Mm.
So, but when you are moving to cloud, what is the replacement for that? So what
Okay.
you will do, you create your 3-tier architecture in the Azure, like virtual network. First you start with the resource group, then you have virtual network and 3 subnets, and each subnet you apply, move move your VMs.
Mm.
Once
Mm.
VMs are moved, your application is working fine. But where is
Mm.
the monitoring tool? So that's where
Oh,
this network watcher comes into place. This is
okay.
Azure provided service. So this service
Okay.
you can use it for monitoring and troubleshooting. But you can also bring your on-premises networking tool. If it is a cloud supported, then you can use that. That is additional benefit. But what is
Uh-huh.
the out-of-the-box features? So
Okay.
not
Okay.
many people contain they already invested a monitoring tool, right? If someone
Mm.
is a greenfield and first time they are deploying, like I open a company tomorrow, I don't have
Mm.
any monitoring tool, then I
Yeah.
will say, okay, I don't have any on-premises, then directly I'll go to cloud for all my resources. Then this is one of the feature for you.
Okay.
Okay, so I come to the network watcher here. If you see the topology, when you select a topology, you can select your subscription name and then resource group, and I have 2 resource group here. One, if I select one of these, it shows like I have one virtual network. Sorry, I select so when I select a particular resource group, it shows I have one virtual network contains a 2 subnet, and each subnet have a NIC card, and this has the one front-end VM, front-end energy group, and then the public IP. The same way for backend also we have this. So this is the topology, right? You are visualizing your infrastructure in a diagram, and if you wanted to navigate to this, you can simply select these images. This will take you to the respective resource component area. For example, if I want to know this particular energy, then I select, it takes me to those energy, and I can see the roles whatever configured here. So going back, okay, so this is topology option for monitoring. The next one is connection monitoring. So this I don't have the demo currently, but the settings are like when you select, you can create a connection monitoring, and that goes into set of steps. Once you configure, you can monitor the connections. Then you have the network performance monitor here. This helps you to the if any performance issues comes with the network infrastructure, and this is your production network, then this settings will help you to configure and get the alerts. Then the second feature is diagnostic tools, right? So this is where all these components we discussed, like a IP flow verify, energy diagnostic, next hop, effective security rules, VPN troubleshooting, packet capture, etc. So for example, if I go to effective security rules and I want to know what are the rules I have configured, if I select this particular sample, and then I'm selecting my backend VM, and I'm saying like a front-end VM is not talking to back-end VM, then we need to know like what are the rules are configured. Or if they say like if front-end VM is configured and which not talking to backend, if you select the particular resource from this resource group, this will show you the virtual network and the interface card, NIC card. So now you can see the NIC card is displayed here, and you can also see the front-end VM energy has inbound and outbound rule. And someone says like I'm trying to communicate using this particular port, then for example here, assuming like there is a port mentioned here, source port and destination, and they are saying like it's not working, then you can see, oh, this is currently denied. Then you can go and change that. That will help you to troubleshoot exactly which particular rule is configured and denied. Does that make sense? Are you able to follow?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I was actually trying to prepare some demo, and I have not completed, but I have the some setup which I'm going to run through you guys. So to do this, we need some sort of like a resource group and setup, right? So maybe instead of, because most of the things I already configure, so I'm going to show you like what we are doing with this. So we can create one resource group, and the resource group can have this will contain one virtual virtual network, and virtual network will have a subnet for a backend. Like this contains a subnet for a front end, and then the backend subnet. And next we are creating a VM on the front end subnet. This VM also will comes with the IAS role. And then we are creating a backend VM. So another VM we are deploying in the backend subnet, and the backend VM also we will be enabling the IAS role. Then we are creating a one energy group, and this energy group is actually attached to the NIC card. And here you can see if I want to make some failure scenario, then I'm preventing communication between the VMs using this destination port. So port 80443 and 3389 is the only things are allowed. Then I'm creating a update for this particular energy group. Then you can see the last one, we are enabling the network watcher. So this particular configuration, I have already run it just before the meeting. That's what you are seeing here. Okay, the session will end in 10 minutes. We can rejoin, but not now. I will tell you before 1 minute. So if I go back to my resource group, so I have created one resource group like network watcher demo resource group, which contains the configuration mentioned in the PowerShell. You can see like I have one virtual network, and then I have subnets and NIC cards for each, and then the VMs are configured also, and both contains the public IP for each virtual machines. The NIC card also has the, for example, if I go to the NIC interface, which comes with public IPs, and these IPs will be attached to the VM through this NIC card. So this setup is already created, and that's what we are seeing from the network watcher. When we went to network watcher for on that particular topology, so we can see here whatever the PowerShell module referred here, the same configurations we are able to visualize through this topology. So I think the topology demo, I think for demo, first we need to create the infrastructure, then try to access through topology, which we have noticed here. So this is one of the lab. which is completed. Then next we will need to perform the connection monitor, and this example we will continue now. Let me so there should be one. There should be one connection monitor already, which is, if not there, we can recreate. Okay, so no connection monitoring settings, so we'll create one. So hope you guys are followed till now, right? Like first we created the resources, the infrastructure is application is ready. Now we are trying to use the monitoring tool. The first step we did the topology. Through topology verified our infrastructure is exist and list of network components. Now we are going to use the network monitoring tool for identifying the communication issues. So I need to grant a name for this particular connection monitor name, which I'm entering. Connection monitoring back to front HTTP test we are going to perform, and then we also will select the region, as we know that our setup is in the UK South. So I selected that. Then I'm going to the test groups, where I have to provide the source and test configuration and destination. So here I'm going to provide my test group. Maybe first 5-10 minutes, like until we configure this, it will be boring, but once we configure, you will be able to understand actually what we have exactly done. So first I'm giving my test group name and then the add source, where I am selecting the network, virtual network. When you go to the Azure selected sources, you can see backend VM and frontend VM. We are going to test between these two VMs communication and energy group rules, etc. So that's why we are creating these sources. And normally you have to enable the network watcher, which is already enabled. Then you select the add endpoint. So this endpoint, Azure endpoint is configured. Now we are going to add a test configuration. So I'm going to provide the name, same HTTP test configuration. And then I'm keeping the same protocol HTTP, and destination port is normally HTTP goes with the port 80. If it is HTTPS, then 443. Then I'm giving the test frequencies every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds, this will test and tell me the result. And then I'm click test configuration. So once this is completed, then we are going to create the destination, where so in the Azure endpoint, we are going to configure the virtual network. This is our virtual network. And then in this particular resources, so select the friend. Okay, this is destination, right? So I think one item I missed it. Sorry about that. So here, okay, sorry. So back in. So on this one, I think add resource, virtual network, select backend, add a backend source, and the configuration this remains is. So HTTP port 80 30 seconds. Then I go to destination. So configuration destination. Okay, select my virtual network and select my front-end VM. Add endpoint. So once we selected all, then we can add a test group. So this is the configuration we need. Like this is the name of the test. Source is our virtual network and destination same, but backend to front end. Test communication is HTTPS. Currently it's enabled. So right now we are not seeing any issues. So I'm going to create. Okay, refresh. I'm not sure like what went wrong. It should show us our monitoring created. Okay. So now once the monitoring we created for the backend VM to a front-end VM, as both are in the same virtual network, there is no like the energy is associated with the backend subnet. That is why the traffic flow without issues from your backend VM to the front-end VM. So now we are not seeing any fail warning. So in this configuration, specifically we said the communication between the front-end and backend VM we are testing through port 80 HTTP. So as of now, we are not seeing any errors. So for example, if I open in the second one, so portal. So you can see there is a public IP for the backend VM, right? So this